Well, good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. Welcome to the wake up call. Happy Tuesday. Hope you all are doing well. And just checking things out here. And the question for all you folks this morning is, how do you like your coffee? Are you a scalding hot person? Lukewarm? Are you an iced coffee person? Let me know in the chat, how you like your coffee. Every morning when I make mine, I like it hot, but I don't like it like scalding hot. I don't like it to where it burns my mouth. So, I always throw 2 or 3 ice cubes in just to bring the temperature down. I don't know if that makes me weird or crazy, but that's just the way I like it. But let's go ahead and say hi to some folks. And while I'm doing that, just want to give a little update on the schedule. I know I started out this show, it was going to be Monday through Friday, 7:30 Central, and then that kind of morphed into Monday, Tuesday, with Wednesday off, and then Thursday, Friday. But after giving it some serious consideration, I went ahead and settled on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 Central, and that way, I think that works out the best for me and keeps the show interesting. And I don't know, we'll see how it goes. And then on those off days, that'll be my days to drop videos if I've got anything. So, but without further ado, let's check the chat here. Say hi to some folks. And we got Will G in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Working and listening. Hope you have a good work day. And as always, we got Scott from Controversial Cruising in the house. Good morning. Good morning. And we got Ross from Orange Cone Vlog in the house. Howdy, howdy. Good morning. Good morning. And we got the Fam Adventures. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. People saying hi to each other. And we got Sea Tripping with Kim and Scott. Good morning. Good morning to you. And let's see, we got our first answer here from Scott. He says he likes his coffee black, baby. All right. And he also likes it hot. So there you go. I do take cream and sugar with mine. And let's see, we got Eddie Lugo Studios in the house. Good morning, Eddie. Welcome in. And we got Life with Lucia and Glenn. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. And Destination Fun in the house. Welcome in. Good morning to you. Oh, yeah, we got another cream and sugar person in the house. All right, I like that. And Eddie says hazelnut coffee, creamer, and syrup. All right. And we got Ross here says that he likes his coffee hot or cold and blonde. Hmm. Okay. A lot of good answers here. But no matter how it comes, though, I have to have it. I mean, I'm one of those people that if I don't get my coffee in the morning, I'm just almost useless for the rest of the day. So, well, all right. So let's dive into our stories that we got for today. And yeah, last week I had mentioned this, and I didn't have the article handy, but Carnival Cruise Line, I guess they changed their VIFP drink. I guess it was called an appreciation drink. And so, if for those that remember, on the last day of the cruise, if you were at a certain loyalty level, gold or platinum or diamond, you could get a free drink. But I think it had to be on the last day. Had to be like after 5. And there were some other requirements to it, but they decided to change that, and they changed the name of the appreciation drink. So they've called it something else. And let's see. Now it's called Welcome Aboard, Welcome Home beverage. And so, and it's for gold, platinum, and diamond level. And let's see. So you can, makes it so now it's the very first drink loyal guests will enjoy on board their Carnival cruise. This free drink will be processed automatically for the first drink a guest orders on board and will not be charged to their Sail and Sign account. So basically, when you go to the bar, you give them your Sail and Sign card, and they'll swipe it, and it'll show up on your Sail and Sign whether or not you redeemed it or not. And it doesn't have to be for alcoholic beverages. It can be for, you can go to Java Blue and redeem it there for like a specialty coffee or something, or a shake. Yes, furthermore, the drink does not have to be alcoholic in nature, and guests can also choose from other onboard beverages to toast their next sail away. So you can use it at Java Blue. So the revamp benefit begins on all sailings departing July 20th. So that's already started. Only applies to cruises that are at least 5 nights long. So it's got to be at least 5 days. It should be noted that this change in the drink benefit is only for the complimentary beverage. At this time, there are no changes to the complimentary 1.5 liter bottles available for all red, gold, platinum, and diamond cruisers. And you can get those bottles at any bar, restaurant, or from the stateroom. So, yeah, when you check into your room, they've already got those bottles already in the room. So if I think it has like $4.50 listed on there, but if you drink one, it's not going to charge you anything for that one. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that, because I know I touched on it last week, but I had a little snafu and couldn't pull up the article. So there you have it. So now it's the Welcome Aboard, Welcome Home drink instead of the appreciation drink. So I like that. And yeah, Ross says the Welcome Aboard, Welcome Home, let's get drunk package. Yeah, that's for some people. I'm sure it will be that way. And Sherry's saying, "Hi everyone, can't tag on my cell." Well, we understand. All right, so let me dive into the main story here pertaining to the Alaska folks and cruising. So, and I had also, this is another story I had talked about on a previous show, and about how the citizens in Juneau were, I guess there's going to be some vote or something. They were considering banning cruise ships on Saturdays. And we talked about that, and how the locals, the locals there would be nice for them to have a day off, and that's and it makes sense. It makes sense. I can't blame them, because they're, when things are really going in the midst of the Alaska cruise season. I mean, you could have, I don't even know how many ships in port, and you got all these cruisers flooding this town, and I'm sure it is kind of a nightmare. And if you live there, if you're a local, and you're just trying to take your family out to enjoy things, and you got to contend with all these cruise passengers. And I'm not running down cruise passengers. I'm not necessarily talking about behavior. Obviously, I'm a cruiser, so, and I love to go to Alaska on cruises. So I'm just talking about the sheer number of folks, in the area. But let's see, Ross is letting us know 26 days for us to Alaska. Check in on Sunday morning. Woohoo! All right. Hope you get the best time slot you can on that. Yeah, I'd love to be. I went earlier this year. I'm always down for an Alaska cruise. I'm always ready. But according to the article, let's see. Famously described as America's last frontier, Alaska has become the latest front against the surging tide of over-tourism. And that's something that's also been in the news here lately, is some places, some destinations are starting to get a little fed up, and there's this idea of over-tourism. And, some of that could be attributed to the shutdowns we had not too long ago with the pandemic and all of that. And there was a lot of restrictions. And then even when things loosened up, there was different requirements as far as, vaccinations and shots and tests and things of that nature. People were a little bit weary, cautious about traveling, but it seems like now things have pretty much opened back up. People are feeling like they can go travel, and then they feel okay with it. And so, you can imagine that there was a 2 or 3 year time frame there where people weren't going. Now that they can, they're trying to get out there and see as much as they can. And maybe they feel like they need to do it because, who knows when the next shutdown may happen. So that's something that's been, a lot of these other places have been noticing. It says battle lines are being drawn in the state capital of Juneau, where simmering tensions over the rise of cruise ship visits has prompted the city's residents to take a stand. Despite other initiatives limiting cruise numbers, locals are pushing for ship-free Saturdays with a proposal to ban cruise ships carrying 250 or more passengers from docking on this day every week to bring a reprieve from the influx. The ban would also cover the 4th of July, U.S. Independence Day. The city's assembly has until August 15th to adopt the measure, but if it doesn't, as seems likely, it will be put to a vote by Juneau residents in October, which would then be implemented not this year, but next year, 2025. And Ross is letting us know he's guaranteed to early boarding, accessibility boarding because of my foot recovery. Well, that's good. That's actually a good thing. Hopefully they can get you on board and get you checked in. And NCL has told me to arrive at 9 a.m. and will be boarded by 10 a.m. Well, shoot, you can't beat that. Can't beat that at all. Well, hopefully that you have a lot of fun on that cruise. I know you deserve it after all you've been through. So it says since the pandemic, Alaska has become increasingly popular for cruise ship calls during the April to October season. As one of the most popular stops, Juneau bears the brunt, especially as the city is only accessible by air or sea. Last year, arrivals hit a record of more than 1.6 million, up from 1.1 million in 2022, swelling the 32,000 strong population in a wave of cruise ship passengers that says threats to overwhelm them. So on peak days, they have 18,000 cruise passengers. So that's a lot of extra folks in the town. Two of the largest players, Princess Cruises and Hollow American Line, and several ships in the region each summer. And so, not surprisingly, tourism is Juneau's highest earner, raking in $375 million in direct spending last year. Cruise industry body Cruise Line International Association, or CLIA, has worked with Juneau's local authorities to introduce a voluntary limit, which came into force this summer, of no more than 5 large vessels in port per day. Another agreement due to take effect in 2026 will limit passenger arrivals to 16,000 a day. Aside from Saturdays, when the limit is 12,000. Some residents do not feel this goes far enough. Deborah Craig says that its overwhelming number of visitors diminished what residents love about Juneau. If we have that one day a week without the chaos that comes with the cruise industry, we'll be all happier and healthier. So definitely, a lot of tensions there. We'll see how it plays out. But also, it's not just Alaska. There's other destinations: Venice, Amsterdam, Bar Harbor, Maine. They had they implemented some sort of limits on how many cruise passengers they could have. Barcelona, they just had some protests not too long ago where they were spraying tourists with water and things of that nature, putting up police line tape in front of hotels and bars and stuff. And I know they've also started talking about increasing the taxes on cruise line passengers. So, and then also Key West had also been kind of in the fray in regards to cruise ship passengers. So I don't know. I think maybe, my thoughts are is maybe some of that will start to smooth out as the allure of traveling maybe dies down a little bit, but I don't know. You never know. So there is that story. So let me know what y'all think about that. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of for it. Of course, I don't know how that's going to affect the cruise lines, because then they might have to go back and revamp all their itineraries to take that Saturday out and shuffle things around. I don't know how that would affect people's plans. When people book cruises far out, and then they book excursions and things of that nature. I don't know. But I can see, because Juneau it's 32,000 people. I mean, that's a decent sized town, but it's not a huge city. And like I say, you're almost getting close to doubling, the population on a day. That can be pretty taxing. Well, all right. Let me see here. We'll jump on into our next story here. And this was kind of an interesting one that I saw. And this in regards to Princess Cruise Lines. So I know they just rolled out a new ship. I believe it's the Sun Princess. I believe Derek and Amanda from Island Time is on there right now, or have flown out there to get on the ship. But I guess they had, the top deck, they had designed a bunch of different attractions on there, and so now they're talking about they are not gonna, they're not gonna open those up to passengers. So it's kind of interesting. Princess Cruises announced that three of the most eagerly awaited attractions on their newest ship, the Sun Princess, the Roll Glider, Coastal Climb, and Ropes Course, will never open despite being heavily marketed and already installed. These features will not be available to passengers. We regret to announce that Princess is unable to accept delivery of the Roll Glider, Coastal Climb, and Ropes Course features within Park 19. They will not be open. So they were supposed to be part of this Park 19 venue that Princess had put together on the top deck of the Sun Princess, which that's their newest ship. And it's, I guess initially, I guess the ship's actually been going, they've been doing cruises for 5 months, and those hadn't been open, and I guess they had been telling people that it was due to maintenance or safety checks that had to be done, and so they were just keeping them shut down. Though the facilities are already installed, the cruise line did not mention why they will never open or how it plans to reuse the designated spaces. It also did not say if these facilities will be available on the sister ship currently under construction, the Star Princess. So, yeah, so that's kind of interesting. So they've got these things installed, and they're just not gonna use them, which is, I mean, that's interesting. It makes you, really wonder, like, what the deal is on that. I mean, because you got to imagine they probably spent a pretty good penny to have those things installed, and now they're not gonna use them. The heavy marketed Roll Glider Sea Breeze combines an aerial roller coaster with a zip line. Passengers would have been suspended from an overhead track that lasted 60 to 90 seconds, enjoying a ride that could supposedly go up to 11 miles an hour. Meanwhile, the Coastal Climb was meant to be a climbing structure that spans decks 19 to 20. Passengers would have traversed obstacles as they made their way to the ship's highest open area. An adrenaline-pumping slide would then allow them to return to the bottom quickly. And then finally, you had a ropes course, which I think I see those a lot on Carnival ships. And so what does that leave? Well, the deck plan on Princess Cruises website has been updated to show a jogging track replacing Park 19. In addition, the area still features Infinite Horizon, which is a view deck with leaning tilt walls, a hammock area, splash zone, and a recreational port. So, and despite the announcement, Sun Princess boasts new amenities like the Dome, the fleet's largest casino, and a 2-story spa. So yeah, that's like I said, that's pretty interesting, and hopefully we'll get some clarification on that. And what happened? Why did they scrap it so soon? And I don't know. That's going to be interesting to follow. I mean, like I say, these cruise ships, it costs a lot of money to build these things, and you just never know. And Orange Coon Vlog says, I think it is needed. These towns are getting overwhelmed with passengers, and since the pandemic, many establishments don't have the staffing. Yeah, well, there's probably something to that, I'm sure. But yeah, it's, this last time I was in Juneau, it was just us, and the Spirit was the only other ship. And it wasn't bad. I mean, if you were right next to where the ships were at, it was a little bit, obviously some people milling about there, but it wasn't too bad. But I've been on the first cruise that I went on, I was on the Ovation of the Seas, and there were several other ships that were in port with us that day. And I mean, there was a lot of people running around. So, you know, I think it's probably for the best. You know, people can argue whether or not it's, but if you think about it, like I said, if you're a local living there and maybe you're not even affiliated with any of the tourism that's good, the bars and stuff like that, and you're just trying to live a normal, somewhat normal life. You know, maybe you even have kids there that are going to school, and it's the weekend rolls around, and you want to go do stuff, but you're the whole everywhere is just swamped with tourists. You know, I can understand that. And Scott says proposition issue. And Ross from Orange Cone Vlog says my brother is elite with Princess and won't go on the Sun Princess. He feels that the ships are designed for families, and he and many other regulars are older and want the quiet experience on board. Now that's an interesting point too, because now I've never been on Princess. I've only been on Carnival and Royal so far, but I know that, like, well, there's two cruise lines, and whenever I because when I talk to other cruisers when I'm out there, we talk about different cruise lines and cruise ships to try out, and you know, anytime I talk about Princess or Holland America, everybody's like, oh, that's for an older crowd. You know, those are, you know, you're too young to go on those cruise lines and this, that, and the other. Which I don't feel like I'm that young at all, but yeah, that's kind of been the you know the I guess the consensus from the people that I talked to about that, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but I don't know. I think a lot of these other cruise lines, they kind of see, you know, what Royal's doing, what Carnival's doing, and maybe they want to venture out into having a family friendly cruise ship and try to cash in on that. I don't know. I don't know what if there's a right or wrong to that, but that's also an interesting aspect to the story. But yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm just curious about these amenities, spending all that money and they're not even going to use it. But yeah, and then the other big story that I saw happening, kind of play out over the weekend, or yet between Sunday and yesterday, was the whole Coach Cruise situation. And I know he had that passport snafu, flew all the way to Australia to go on this Journeys cruise, 15-day Journeys cruise out of Australia. And come to find out, when he went to check on, his passport was good, but it was going to expire in just a few days less than 6 months, you know. And so they didn't let him board. And then the person told him, you know, hey, if you can go get an emergency passport, you know, long as it's good for a year, you know, you might be able to rejoin the ship at one of the, I think at Brisbane was the other port. So that's what he did. He went, jumped through the hoops, got the emergency passport. It was good for a year. Flew to Brisbane. So he's, you know, paying that money. Got there, went to check in, and apparently, I guess one of the other countries that they hit had a requirement that it can't be an emergency passport. So at the end of the day, he had to fly back to the States. You know, his wife's still on the cruise ship; she's enjoying the cruise. But I was watching those videos yesterday, and man, I couldn't imagine. The frustration of that, you know, flying all the way to Australia, and, you know, having to just turn around and come back home. I mean, that's, man. But it's you know, it's one of those lessons. It was a hard learned lesson, I guess, a hard lesson to learn. So now I'm going to be scrutinizing my passport from here on out. That's for sure. I still got a good 5 years left on mine, but so Sherry says, Orange Cone Vlog. I think all the cruise lines are switching it up. Utopia, from all the videos I have seen, look more Vegas style than family friendly. True. And Ross says Indonesia doesn't accept emergency passports. Yep, that's exactly what they told him. And Sherry, I see that as well. Well, all right, folks, it is 8 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up and get up out of here. I won't take up any more of your time, but if you like this kind of content, please consider hitting the thumbs up on the way out. And if you're watching the replay, you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. It's 1,000% free. It helps the channel grow, helps push the message out to the masses. And I do truly appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Hope you have a great week. And I will catch you guys on the next video. So take care, everybody.